Welcome back to the Autry Benton Show. It is my pleasure to sit down with my friend Jenna Dukes, who serves District 1 in the north part of Horry County on County Council. Also, she's a business owner, a pharmacist in the area, and an all-around good person. Jenna, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, you are a busy lady.
That's an understatement.
Understatement. Well, I tell you what, thank you for always being incredibly nice to me and Amanda. You are just a friendly person, and I know you're that way with everyone. So thank you for that.
We appreciate your friendship and support and camaraderie.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to go back in history a little bit. Tell us about growing up. Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in southern West Virginia in a little town called Gilbert. It's down in the coal fields, Hatfield-McCoy country.
Wow.
My grandparents were in the strip mining business. My father was a heavy equipment hauler, eventually opened a crane company to work with the mines rather than in the mines. And then getting out of that, he now owns a propane business. So I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I had a wonderful childhood. Only child, don't have any siblings. But I was with my parents running their businesses forever. So that's the only thing. Working's the only thing I've ever really known. Graduated from high school in 2004, went to West Virginia University. Wasn't 100% sure at that time what I really wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be somehow in the medical field or the service industry. I found the perfect mix of exactly what I wanted with pharmacy. I had toyed with going to law school. I had toyed with becoming a psychiatrist. And somehow in the mix of all of that, being a community pharmacist fit the bill and felt like I could serve people in the best way that way.
Well, being a pharmacist, you got to be a little bit of a psychologist as well. You get the best of both worlds there if you were entertaining that, right?
I do get the best of both worlds. Talking to people about things that aren't even pharmacy related is probably what I spend the most of my day doing, and that's the part that I enjoy most.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Wow, I'm already learning stuff about you already. So, I mean, you've known hard work. I mean, you've seen it firsthand.
My father's probably one of the hardest working individuals I've ever been around, and that's where I learned it from.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Do you still have a lot of family in West Virginia?
Everyone's still there.
Wow.
My grandparents have passed on, but my parents are still there. Still working every day.
Wow, that's great. Did you know that that you wanted to go to West Virginia University?
Yes, from a very young age. So growing up, my extracurricular, I was a baton twirler.
Oh, wow.
So when my parents would take me to the West Virginia games, that was the highlight, was seeing the twirlers on the field. And that was always my goal, was to twirl at WVU. And probably to my benefit, that did not work out, which allowed me to have more time to focus on school, to get into pharmacy school early and start my career.
Wow, that's great. All right, so tell me about your mom. Tell me one thing about your mom.
My mother is mother extraordinaire.
Yeah.
She runs the house. She runs my father's businesses, all from home. Wonderful cook, wonderful caretaker, wonderful entertainer. She loves to host people and just take care of the people around her. Wow,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, I guess being a business owner now, you saw all aspects. I mean, being a business owner, you got to wear a lot of different hats. I mean, you saw that early on, I guess.
I did. And that's one thing I think most people don't understand when they're looking at business owners. It's a lot of sacrifices from your family. It's a lot of sacrifices for yourself to be able to start that thing from the ground up, to make sure the lights stay on, to make sure that your employees are getting paid, that just every little thing that goes into it to keep the doors open. It's a lot more of a sacrifice than just walking in and walking out and getting a payday.
Wow, for sure, for sure. So, tell me about the college years. Was it easy for you? Was school easy, and did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. WVU definitely has a reputation. We won't go into that. But I did have a good time. I did 2 years of undergrad, and that was a little bit of an adjustment.
Right.
Coming out of high school, I didn't really have any issues with studying or getting straight A's. College was a little different adjustment in finding the right balance. Figured that out quickly. Pharmacy school was like getting information out of a fire hose. But I made a lot of really good friendships that have lasted to this day. People that I still call on that are in different fields and across the country. If I need a question that I haven't seen before, I've really made relationships there that have lasted.
Yeah. You know, having a couple friends going through pharmacy school now, like, it's very tough. It's a tough profession, especially the education part. I mean, you want to speak on that? Just
A lot of chemistry, a lot of math.
yeah.
You have to learn everything about the body to be able to understand how the medications that we dispense treat it. So that's things I think maybe you don't realize when you're looking at what a pharmacist does. You know, a lot of people have the belief that, oh, you're just putting pills in a bottle, and it's a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
It's understanding how those work, how those affect the body differently.
Right.
So you have to learn all of the disease processes before you even go into how the medications would react or affect the person.
Yeah, I got you. Well, good.
A lot of chemistry.
A lot of chemistry. So coming out of school, what was your next steps?
I began working for Walgreens as an intern when I was in pharmacy school
In West Virginia?
in West Virginia, and then also here at the beach. And so I would come down in the summers and intern with Walgreens, have the weekends off, work during the week, you know,
Right.
typical fun summer job, and really didn't intend on going completely into community pharmacy when I started. Had explored residency after pharmacy school, and then once I got into it and realized how much I really loved it, that kind of stuck. Upon graduation, decided I had a job offered to me with Walgreens here, and I had a place to live. Already, you know, had started making relationships with customers and friends here, and decided why not. You know, I was single at the time, and what better way to, you know, start your life than come to the beach. Definitely don't regret it. Best decision I ever made.
So let me ask you this. So from being from West Virginia, certainly we're in Horry County. When did you first come to Horry County? Did you have ties to Horry County?
My parents would always come down here when I was little. We would, like the typical, you know, you hear all the West Virginians come here for vacation, and we do. We love it here. It's comfortable. It's very welcoming. I have a lot of friends that had moved here as well, but my parents started bringing me at a very young age, and it kind of became a second home pretty quick.
Wow. And so, like, in school, you said you would come intern. So, like, do you intentionally seek that out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had started working for Walgreens while I was in pharmacy school.
Okay.
Just there in Morgantown and across the state line in Pennsylvania. And then asked them if I could move in the summers, move my internship down to South Carolina so I could live at the beach for the summer.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, having those thoughts, trying to make those decisions, did you have any idea that this would be your home one day, possibly?
I knew I always wanted to be here.
Wow.
I love the way of life, the feel, the people. Horry County's always been, like I said, a second home.
Right.
And it just felt right.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So here, so how long did it take for you to fully get here and move here?
I graduated in 2011.
Okay.
Immediately moved probably a week after graduation.
Okay.
Got my license in July and started to work the very next week. And it's been on the ground running ever since.
So, tell us who your husband is and how you met him.
My husband is Curtis. We actually met at the Aquatic Center in North Myrtle Beach.
Oh, wow. Tell us the story.
One of those summers that I was working, I had a friend from home that was also working there as a second job, and she would talk to Kurt. She got to know Kurt as a friend and introduced us, you know, as, this is my friend that's here for the summer. Y'all should meet. She's going home in, you know, into August to start back to school. No strings attached.
Right.
That was 18 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's great. So tell us a little about Curtis, where he's from and what he does.
Curtis is from Western North Carolina. He is the fourth of 5 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Parents were teachers. So Curtis was raised good, hardworking family as well. He is in the real estate business. A lot of relationships. You know, I've watched him build that from the ground up as well. And I remember when we first got married, he would sit in open houses every Saturday and Sunday. and I worked at that time every other weekend. So it was hard at first, giving up. We had essentially no weekends together because every second he was sitting in an open house or trying to make a deal work. He was meeting people where they were on their schedule to get the deal done. And that's another sacrifice I think that people don't realize is to get it done, you gotta meet people where they are.
Absolutely. And Curtis is wonderful. He's a connector and he just loves people. It's easy to see that. So that's good. So tell us about Wilbur.
Wilbur is the light of my life. Wilbur is a 7-year-old English Bulldog. We've had him for 6.5 years. And he is just like I said, the light of the room. He will put a smile on your face in the worst day.
Yeah.
He usually goes to work with me every day.
Does he really?
Me or Curtis one, but usually with me.
Wow.
He's got his place there at the store. The girls love him. He's spoiled, that's for sure.
Yeah. So does he know it's time to go to work in the mornings? Is he?
He does. He can tell he knows my routine.
Yeah.
He knows when I'm getting ready that something's going on, and he starts waking up. He's got his morning routine. He'll get up and he'll go on his little couch in there and then wait for me to come in and make my coffee, and he knows it's time to get leashed up and go. Wow,
that's great. And he's always in the photo ops at Christmas, so he makes the card. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, good. So let me ask you this question. Tell me some marriage advice for our listeners,
Marriage advice for our listeners. Don't let the hard days win.
There's a lot more good days, right?
A lot more good days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not 50-50.
Yeah. So I know you and Curtis are really, really busy people. So how do y'all relax? How do y'all unwind and just relax?
Summertime's the best. We usually stay home and enjoy the pool. Really, for us to relax, we have to get out of here for a couple days. Short weekends, get away from the phones, get away from my temptation to get in the car and drive to work.
Yeah.
If I'm within distance, I'm usually there. I'm tempted to be there.
Yeah.
So the easiest way for us to relax and unwind is to just pack up and get out of here.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So tell us about, certainly your license, you're in a pharmacy business. So when did it come on that you wanted your own pharmacy, and tell us about your business?
Well, obviously, like I said, came from a family of entrepreneurs. So that's what I always knew, was working for yourself and owning your own. In fact, my dad actually thought I was crazy when I told him I was going to work for somebody else. But I couldn't have done what I did without having the start and the experience at Walgreens. Mm-hmm. And I can't say anything bad about them. I mean, they gave me a chance and gave me a lot of opportunities. I just wanted to be able to do more for my customers and build that real hometown store. Mm-hmm. This industry is based on service. Mm-hmm. And being confined to a box of corporate policies isn't easy for our population. Mm-hmm. There were needs in our community for more personalized service, for delivery, for compounding, things that not all of your retail chains do. And I saw a spot. I made a promise. Curtis and I had talked about it several times. We just didn't know if the time would ever be right. And I remember getting towards the end of 2016 and just being fed up. I was stressed out. I was probably not fun to be around. Mm-hmm. And we had talked about a couple different options. And I said, well, I guess we're going to open a store.
Wow.
And one morning I was on my way to work, and I drove by my building, which used to be TD Bank.
Right.
And saw that it had closed. For whatever reason that morning, I had went that way to work instead of going under the bridge down Little River Neck. Definitely God-led. And I called Curtis when I saw the sign, and I said, the bank's closed. He said, okay. That was it.
Yeah.
And started tracking down, how to get a hold of it. And by not too much longer, we had a lease, and we took possession of the building in July of 2017 and opened January 2018.
That had to be a good day.
It was the scariest day of my life. Unlocking that door for the first time and wondering if anybody was going to walk in was a very, very chilling moment.
Yeah.
But they did, and they do, and this community's been fantastic.
Wow.
And they keep us going, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us the name of your business.
Cherry Grove Drug.
I got you. And tell us a little bit more details. I know you've hit some already, but like your employees, kind of what, everything.
We are in the heart of Cherry Grove, so really embedded in that community. I have 2 other pharmacists that work with me and multiple technicians and cashiers. It takes a lot to keep that machine running. But I was, like I said, very focused on customer service. So I wanted to make sure that we've got the staff in place to meet everybody's needs and take care of everybody the way they need to be taken care of. And that's what it takes to keep it running. Total of 15 employees plus myself. I'm usually there in the background most days, at least to get them up and running till 2, 3 o'clock, and then sneak out and do my other job.
Yeah, I got you. Good. So do you still, on the right term, is the mixed medicine or yourself at times?
So we have, as I said, I have 2 other pharmacists.
Okay.
They specialize more on the compounding side of it,
Okay.
as well as retail dispensing.
Right.
But then I have a dedicated technician that does all the compounding all day.
I got you. Good. And not every pharmacy does that, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Most of the time, any of your compounding pharmacies are going to be independent. In this area, there's only a few of us, and that's a specialization that has gotten a lot more popularity recently.
Right.
With dermatology creams, with hormone replacement. We do a lot of pet medications. Obviously we're
Really?
pet friendly, so
Yeah.
we compound a lot of pet medications there, yes.
Wow, that's great. And did I hear you mention that y'all deliver?
We do.
Yeah.
So we do deliver to North Myrtle, Little River, a little bit of Longs, and then go all the way down to 82nd Parkway to the hospital in that area.
Wow. Do a lot of your customers use that? Do they?
They do. That really picked up during COVID.
Okay.
We do have a drive-through, but at about 4 o'clock on any given day, that drive-through's packed, and we try to run that as fast as possible. But delivery, especially with traffic or with an illness, delivery is very convenient, and a lot of people have really started to use that service.
Wow, that's great. So having a pharmacy, which is a very personal thing, tell us about your customers and your relationship. I know you've got to have that special connection there.
It's a very special connection. In the early days, it was just me. I was the only pharmacist. I was the delivery driver. I did it all. And thankfully, I was able to, as the business grew, we were able to bring in more people to handle that. But every now and then, I'll still do those special deliveries if something happens, if there's an emergency, if it's a late night call or it missed the delivery cutoff. Every now and then I'll show up, and it kind of surprises people because they remember me in the beginning, and that you really build relationships with the people that you see coming in month after month. You get to be part of their life. I feel like I've watched children grow up. I've watched them get married, go off to college. I'm really not that old, so I don't know how I could have done that, but
it happens.
It's a very special place to be part of those people's lives, and they trust you.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of a local business. Like I just heard you say, like a late night. So there's been times you have taken somebody's medicine, them after hours to their doorstep.
Absolutely.
That's the personal touch that people want in our world, I think, Jenna. For sure.
Like I said, I made a promise when I went down this road that I would adapt the business to the needs of the community.
Yeah.
And we have done that.
Well, running the business, so you do serve District 1 of Horry County. So tell us what brought that on your radar to run and to serve, to eventually get elected.
It's all back to relationships. So being in the store every day, talking to people, hearing, as I said, most of our conversations weren't even about the medications they were picking up, but it was more about life. A lot of complaints about traffic and little things that I would pick up on, and we would get involved and elaborate a little more in the conversation. And it got kind of in the back of my mind, hey, I think I need to do something about this. I'm trusted with their medications, with their lives. They need a representative that they can trust and that they know is going to go to bat for them. It's what I've already been doing for the last several years in business and as a pharmacist, so why not?
Wow. Did you, as a child or in college, did you ever know that you would step into public service? Was it ever down deep somewhere?
Down deep, it was there.
Yeah.
My grandfather was very involved in local elections and supporting candidates. And when I was 3 or 4, I remember him taking me to vote for the first time. And this was back when you had the punch, the really old voting machines.
Yeah.
And I remember them explaining, why we have the right to vote and why it's important to vote. Something that always stuck with me. I even remember they let me do a sample ballot, and I voted for Johnny Carson for president.
I love it. That's great. So, so put your hat in the ring. Tell me about campaigning and stuff, and like meeting people.
That was the hardest part, but the most rewarding part. Going door to door, doing events. We were doing something every single day. I was knocking on doors. I would leave work, change clothes, go start knocking on doors, and then we would do an event that night. And I got to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't normally have got to meet in the pharmacy, that didn't use us or hadn't met me personally yet, and hearing their concerns, hearing what they wanted to see change, that was very important. It was a lot of fun and something I'll definitely remember forever, and I use daily when things come up or we're making decisions.
That's good. So you were elected, and you're coming up on the end of your first term.
Yes.
Like, tell us, what's the biggest thing you're proud of and learned?
Biggest thing I'm proud of is Rod 4. Getting that project that's almost $6 billion worth of infrastructure projects. That's tremendous for our area. We all know that we need road improvements and additional roads, and that's something that we as council have done together, as well as the community that voted it in and trusted us. That's going to be tremendous for our area to continue that program.
And I think the beauty of that, Jenna, thank y'all for doing that, is that our many visitors that visit us every day, they share in that when they sales tax. It's not just the residents. That's the beauty of it, because they use our roads. Exactly,
and that's why this program works so well, is because it is. We're different than most counties in the state. We thrive here in Horry County on tourism, and a lot of our money does come from tourism dollars. So that tax helps to handle our roads, and it doesn't put as much stress on our residents.
Yeah, that's great. Have you enjoyed serving?
I love it.
Yeah.
Way more than I thought I would. I knew that I was going to like it. I knew why I was doing it, but I have had a lot more fun than I thought I would. And it's not been easy.
Yeah.
It's not always rainbows and butterflies, and there's hard votes, there's hard decisions, there's hard phone calls. Being able to sit down and weigh both sides when I have to make a decision, that's not been fun. Sometimes it's very challenging in making sure that you're doing the right thing for the right reasons and for the betterment of the people. But I have really enjoyed serving. Enjoy serving with everybody I serve with. Council has been fantastic. Chairman Gardner has been a wonderful mentor. Has really helped take me under his wing and teach me all the things that maybe I was lacking in. I had never served in public office before, but he was very patient and provided a lot of guidance to help me learn and understand what was going on.
Yeah. If I'd like to brag on you now, if I can, I really like I think it's important to have people from different segments of life to serve in government. And certainly I was so excited about you because you're a business person. You've told us very, very much, you built your business from the ground up and you can relate to people, And like you say, we wear many different hats. We're job providers. We know what it is to interact with county government. And I think you know that and have experienced that. So thank you for throwing your hat in the ring and serving us. And one thing you said too is, a theme through your personal life, through your business and serving is it's all about relationships, isn't it, Jenna?
Yes, sir, it is. But we all have to work together. We're all in this world together. We're all in this county together. And the 12 of us sitting up there on that dais, we're all working together for the betterment of the county. And we've all developed great relationships. I'm not always going to know the answers, but because of people I've developed relationships with, I can call on an expert in the field. And that's where I think it's been most important, especially in making decisions with council, is I'm not a road builder, but I know people that are. Mm-hmm. And being able to get expertise in areas like that, I'm not a home builder, but I know people that are. Mm-hmm. I'm not a doctor, but I know people that are. Just being able to bring in the right people to help answer the questions and help guide the decisions so that we get to the right place.
Yeah, I think y'all have a level of just unity that you're able to communicate and work through it. And I think people want that out of their county government. They don't want fussing and fighting. They want order and they want it to flow as it should. Not that you're always going to agree.
We have done a very good job in the last 4 years of getting along, respecting one another. Mm-hmm. That is some of the best advice that former Mayor Marilyn Hatley gave me was, you're never going to agree on everything, but you need to be unified.
Yeah.
And we have done a very good job of being united, being respectful of one another, and making sure that we're making the right decisions.
Yeah. And Jenna, you're running again.
I am.
Is there more challenges to tackle for your county and you wanted to get done for your area?
There's still a lot more work to be done. As I said, Ride 4. My goal this whole time has been to see the 31 extension on the north end to at least break ground. I think we've seen great progress on that finally, and I have dedicated a lot of time to that. Again, relationships, working with North Carolina and building those relationships to get them moving as well. We have a mental health initiative. Mm-hmm. I definitely want to see more work on that. Obviously, I have a soft spot for the mental health community and a big interest in that. And I know this county's just getting started on those initiatives and those facilities. Can't wait to see more of those so that we can help the people that need it. Public safety training facility expansions, we broke ground on that this year. A lot of good stuff coming to Horry County, so we're just getting started.
Well, that's great. Well, Jenna, thank you for your service and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Friends, thank you for joining us today. We've learned a lot about Jenna. We are in election season. Do your homework. And listen, if you want to make your community better, get involved. Find out what's going on. Join us next time.